The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever F.A.B, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madej, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
The Forever F.A.B podcast values truth and authenticity. We encourage our guests to show up exactly as they are, as the best version of themselves. Please note, this podcast episode contains adult language. Thank you and enjoy. Welcome to Forever F.A.B, the podcast dedicated to fashion, the art of living well, and all things beauty. I'm your host, Dr. Shirley Madej, the founder of the Holistic Plastic Surgery philosophy and your purveyor of this definitive source of living a beautiful life. In this podcast, we like to have intelligent and fun discussions about some of the things that we love and that move us with joy, namely fashion, art, wellness, and the many faces of beauty. We keep it refreshing and real, educational but entertaining, scientific and fantastic. This week's episode is dedicated to knowing. And the title of this episode is Confidence Through Knowing, Self-Empowerment as Self-Care. Welcome to my interview with Germaine Bolds-Leftridge. Germaine is the founder and president of GBL Sales Incorporated. She has been in the health and beauty aids industry since 1984, when clearly she was only 12 years old.
Yeah, clearly.
Her career has spanned the decades, and she developed her repertoire of skills in multicultural branding and marketing for some of the world's largest brands, including but not limited to Soft Sheen, World of Curls, Target or Target, CVS, RiteAid, and many more. Of late, she expanded her talent and skills to create a product line called Know Skincare. Germaine is here with us today via StreamYard to share with us what she knows to be true in beauty and in life. Welcome, Germaine. Congratulations on all of your success. And thank you for becoming a beautiful member of this Forever F.A.B community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for allowing me into this membership. I'm so honored. Yes. Thank you.
Because membership is clearly exclusive.
And look, exclusivity is good.
You are a member of a highly curated group of people.
Oh my goodness. I am feeling so good this Monday, beautiful Monday. Yes. Thank you for the honor.
Well, thank you. And let's go at it. Let's find out a little bit more about the beautiful things that you do. So I know you and I spoke last week, and we were talking about family, and we were talking about how you were inspired by family. But tell me what early experiences in your life, whether at home, at school, or otherwise, prepared you for such a successful career as a serial entrepreneur.
Well, you know what? It's really funny. That's a good question, because maybe about 5 years ago, I had an aha moment. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we think that things just happens through osmosis, but really your life is really somewhat planned. I never thought about my grandmother start with that inside.
Start with the inside. Now, how do you create a unique brand identity in such an overcrowded space? I mean, you go to any store and the beauty aisles are just lined with too many products, and it's really difficult to choose. So how did you create a unique brand in such an oversaturated space?
Well, first of all, and I just wanted to kind of correct some things that with the intro of my bio. I have helped to build beauty brands. like your Talia Wajid, Luster Products, Mael Organics, Charles Dynasty, Kenya Moore Hair Care, and the list goes on. And I help to put their products on shelves.
Yes.
And one of the things, and I've always been a server. I love the role being a server. You know, a lot of people want to have a seat at the table. I believe sometimes it's not about having a seat at the table. It's about, can you serve? And if you serve well, you will get a seat at the table when you decide to sit down. And so I decided that it was time, through a very tragic situation in my life, losing my mom, that I was going to create this brand. But one of the things, you are so right, when I go to the shelf, I said, if I wasn't in this space, I wouldn't know what to pick. And the one thing that I tell my clients in order to give them a point of difference is to be their authentic selves. And you can separate yourselves from the crowd when you have a very authentic voice. Yes, you should know what the competition is doing, but you cannot get caught up in what other people are doing. And that's life, period. I play golf and I'm a serious golfer. I'm 3-time club champion at Lakewood Country Club. I am a very serious golfer. I love it. And I think that I try to tell people with golf, yes, you're playing with other people, but it's really you and the course. And that's how life is. It's about, how do I navigate and get this ball in that hole doing on this designated time? If it's 4 strokes, how do I get in there and get the ball in the hole on 4 strokes? So you have to look at all the nuances, and that's how life is. You can't worry about what other people are doing and how they're trying to score. You have to focus on you and the course of your life. And that's how you separate yourself. All my clients are very successful. Mael Organic just got their first evaluation, 9 figures, and they're going to get more. And so, and they did that in less than 7 years. And that's because they've always been their authentic self. Luster Products, an amazing, I can go on and on and on, amazing company. And so it's easy when you're authentic, but when you're trying to be everybody else and do so she's doing this now, he's doing that now, let me try that. It doesn't work.
I agree 100%. I have always stayed true to myself, and that has been really important.
Mm-hmm. Whether people like it or not, some people will, some people won't, and it's okay. You always find your kindred spirit, because I love a confident woman. All my girlfriends, I love that Beyonce, I'm a bad girl and my friends are too. I love that, and my friends are too. All my girlfriends are bad girls. I mean, my mother once told me, she said, if you're in a room and you are the richest and the prettiest, you're in the wrong room.
Wow.
You gotta, and it's true. You cannot be the baddest girl in your group. You gotta have people that you gotta have, because what do you aspire to? How are you inspired? You gotta have people around you that help to inspire you.
That reminds me of something my mother often said to me when I was growing up. And she told me in French, and the translation is pretty much similar to what you were saying. And the translation is, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are.
Yes.
So you want to surround yourself with people who shine, and so that the glitter, the pixie dust can rub off on you too, as you bring your own pixie dust,
Yes. Yeah. Because you can't be a taker. You have to be, sometimes you're giving and sometimes you're taking. When my girlfriends, we all go out to dinner, it's like we have to run behind in the kitchen and say, make sure you give me the check. Everybody's trying to figure out how they're going to get the check, winking at the waiter, make sure you give me the check. Right. Everybody is trying to give.
That poor waiter. That poor waiter's thinking he's got 10 fabulous women trying to flirt with him. He didn't know what to do. Did he?
You're winking at him, so, but it's like that all the time. Who's going to pay the check? It's always a debate. And that's the kind of people that you want to be around, not people that are just taking from you. What do you get from the people that are around you?
You said something earlier that I also love. It was, saying that you said that when you are ready to sit, you will get your seat at the table. So were you ready to sit down at that table when you created your own line? And what led you to create a line for your specific demographic? How did you focus on those women?
Yeah, you know what? It's something that I started a couple of years ago. Start thinking about it. I was probably in my middle 50s then. And I was thinking, your hair changes, when you're about 35, the DHT starts attacking your hair strands. And that's why your hair starts getting thinner. Yes, it's a lot of things start, your skin is drier, everything is drier. So I've always been interested in how do we continue to be our best selves. And so I thought about this I was named our group the Platinum Group. We are the top of the metal. Platinum is very expensive, and we're very loyal, and it's very unique how we become who we are, and it takes time to process. So I call us the Platinum Group. And so when my mom passed, we're coming up on a year. I was in the hospital room, cleaning her up. And I kid you not, she did not have an 83-year-old body. I looked at her and I was like, no stretch marks. I was in amazement. I was amazed at how beautiful she looked, but she's always taking care of her skin. She said, take care of your skin now, and it'll take care of you later.
Yes.
And, we didn't have much money, but my mom would, whatever we had left with the oatmeal, she would put it on her face, I remember, and let it dry and then fix. She had beautiful skin. And so when she was passed, I was like, it was just like she was speaking to me. It's your time. It's your time. I've made millionaires. I continue to make millionaires, and I plan to continue to make millionaires. And I think that, having this seat at the table, some of the key learnings that I've gotten from creating this new brand is helping me to be even a better advisor to my clients, because now I really know what they're going through, how to create UPC codes, how do you do your pricing, how do you navigate through MOQs, all of those things. And it's just my time. It's time. This is my last quarter. And the win happens in the last quarter, and I plan to win again.
That's right.
And again. It's just, I just feel it's my time. And if not now, when?
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 Hashtag winning. Hashtag winning.
Winning. The win happens in the last quarter.
I love it. Now, it is said, and this is, not great, but it is said then that less than 5% of founders of color get funded. How did you fund your business? Because that has definitely got to be one of the barriers to entry, isn't it?
It really is. I have to tell you, I've been very blessed.
Great.
I've not had to borrow any money. And I will tell you, my clients, and I this was the first time that this happened. I've made a lot of people a lot of money. And when my clients was blessed with their non-figure, they came here and blessed me.
Oh, incredible.
And when I tell you, I cried at the table. I had to put the napkin over my face because and it wasn't the amount of the check, which was an amazing amount.
Yes.
Totally unexpected. It was that they didn't forget.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't forget who prayed for them, who prayed for them, and who helped them to create their strategy. They're hard workers, but I navigated them through a process that they weren't familiar with. And I knew that they were going to be at this point, but they blessed me to the point that now I'm using it because after that experience, I said to them, I want to be in a spot where I can make somebody cry like you made me cry. And God's going to give me that opportunity to make some people cry like they made me cry. They blessed me. So because of that blessing, I'm able to really do this the right way. We're having the launch of the brand this Saturday.
Wow.
And I wrote a song called I Know, and it's absolutely amazing. It's some things my mom said, taught me, and things my dad says. He has dementia and he lives with me, and he says every day, all day, nothing stays the same.
Oh, you have to sing it.
Yeah,
I'm afraid we have to put you on and you got to sing that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and it's uplifting for us. And the TikTok are some amazing friends of mine that I can't dance. I just can't. And so I hired a choreographer. Her name is the amazing Paula Brown.
Wow.
And she did a TikTok on it, and these girls jam. You would never know they were in their 50s and 60s, body beautiful, face beautiful, personality beautiful. You would have thought I was paying them the way that they did this TikTok. So all that will be on social media. We will be releasing it within the next 2 weeks.
Cannot wait.
Campaign. It's an amazing campaign, and it's all about your I know. We did some I know confessions. What is your I know? Yeah. And at this time in your life, there's things that you gotta know. I feel sorry for these young girls that are basing their I knows on the fake phoniness of social media. Mm-hmm. What you see, a lot of it's not real. And when you get older, if that's what your foundations are built on, you are going to be one sad person, because getting older is not for punks, I tell you.
That's for sure.
Well, what do you know about it? You're a baby. You're a baby.
Oh, stop. Stop.
You're a baby. But you're really your I know.
I know one thing for sure. I am not a baby.
You look like a baby. You know what? Look, if I hear somebody passing at 90, I was like, oh man, they died so young.
So young.
The younger those numbers are getting, So.
Yes. Now, I can't wait for that launch. I mean, we are definitely going to put it all over our social media. I can't wait to see that TikTok, right? Sing that song. Absolutely. Now, speaking of a seat at the table and trying to create more equity for people of color founders, what are your thoughts on Aurora James's 15% pledge?
You went I couldn't hear all of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. What are your thoughts on the 15% pledge that Aurora James put forth, that at least 15% of products should in stores and retail should be by founders of color?
Well, absolutely, because we spend the most money.
Yes, we spend a lot.
We really do, but oftentimes we're really not prepared. I've had some clients, and I try to tell them, first of all, you cannot manage your business with your ego. Mm. That's one of the biggest mistakes we make. You want to be on the Target shelves, you want to be on the Walmart shelves, but are you really prepared for that? Because it costs a lot of money, and there's some expectations that financial funding that these retailers require.
Yes.
And just to say that you're on shelf and you're not making any money doesn't make any sense. And so one of the things that I try to encourage them to do is to first build up your e-commerce business. Because when you do your e-commerce business, you're not sharing that profit with no one, not even me. And so the e-commerce helps you to build up your funding, because you may not be able to get funding from anybody until you've proven yourself before you made maybe your first $1 million.
Right.
And that's profit. So you have to be prepared. And a lot of us are not prepared.
Yeah, those are really salient points. Thank you. That's pretty enlightening. Now,
we should be higher than 15%. We're the most creative. People follow our trends. Now people wearing their hair in braids that don't look like us. We are trendsetters. So why can't we? Beatrice of Honey Pot, she paved the way in the feminine hygiene with her brand. So we are really We're finding pavers out there. They're paving the way. But unfortunately, she may be the only one. Rich Lou Dennis with Shea Moisture, he was the first one to be able to go into almost every category in almost every type of retailer. He did an amazing job. But will it just be him? Well, he doesn't own it anymore. Unilever owns it, but he created that platform. So it should be more of us.
Yes.
A minimum of 15%.
Agreed. And so that's a great segue, the Shea Moisture and Unilever. Do you have an exit strategy?
You know what? I do. I do. I'm expecting my third grandchild.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm a workaholic, but I enjoy it. And one of the things I don't understand, I don't even know how to spell retirement.
Right.
And I want to learn how to spell it because I will never stop creating a future for myself. I will never, just like today, I have a pool, had a pool in my backyard. I don't know how to swim. So guess what? A girlfriend called me today and she said, "You get ready to have a granddaughter. How would you feel if she walked out that door and fell in the pool?" And I was like, oh my God. So I called a friend and I said, "I need for you to help me to find a private swim teacher so that he can come to my house and teach me how to swim." So that's on my bucket list. So
amazing.
In 2 months, I want to learn how to swim. So I don't think I will ever retire. I will never have a total exit strategy. I know how I want this to end, but it will just be the beginning of something else.
That's fantastic. I love that answer. It's never too late.
I'm never going to retire. God has my exit strategy.
Okay.
And he really does. And so he's shown me what he's going to do with I Know, and I trust it. I've circled it I've done my Jericho circles. And I know for a fact that in 5 years, I will have to make a decision what I'm going to do. I'm going to get an offer that I cannot refuse. So,
wow.
Yes, I know it. And you can hold me accountable. Some people don't like to tell you what they're doing. Yeah, hold me accountable. A lot of times people don't like to tell you their dreams or how they feel because they feel that you will rain on their parade. No, I tell you because I want you to hold me accountable. Because
Absolutely.
When you get out there in the atmosphere, that's when it begins to manifest itself. Because then you now believe it because I'm going to make it happen.
And what's for you can never be taken away from you.
Absolutely, Dr. Shirley. Absolutely.
If it is really written, it is meant for you. That's right. If it's really meant for you, no matter what path it comes through, it will be for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what is funny that you said that? Because sometimes, and it happened to me recently, and sometimes you think that a situation, something that happens in your life is devastating, but it really, when you just accept it and not let your ego come into play, God is working it out to show your faith, that you believe that He knows the plan. It always works out. It always. And to get your lesson. And to get your lesson. You got to get the lesson so it won't constantly come back at you.
Right. Because it's life. It's life. It's going to come back at you.
It's life. And, it's especially at 62, we just buried 2 girlfriends' husbands within the last 30 days.
Oh,
and what that has told me is, and they're 60, 63, and 70. And they're young people. Young. That's young.
Yes.
And what I've learned is that time is undefined.
Yes.
And because what's the definition of time? And for each of us, it's different. And right now, I'm going to continue to work hard, be very intentional about everything that I do, but I'm going to have even more fun.
Yes.
I'm going to have even more fun. Yes. And laugh even more.
Good for you. I'm right there with you. I love it.
Yes. Yes.
Now speaking of lessons, what would you say are, because you've mentored, you've guided, you've helped, you've helped so many entrepreneurs, so many founders. What would you say are some of the more valuable lessons you learned from those entrepreneurs to teach you about what you were going to do next?
The main lesson is just do it.
Oh,
when I tell you, I'm so inspired by some of my millennial clients.
Yes.
They just do it.
Yep.
They come up with their collections, these different ideas. Next thing I know, Germaine, here's your sell sheet.
Wow.
I'm adding to my collection. They have no fear.
That's it.
They have no fear of failure. And most of us have to redefine what failure means. Yes. Failure is not doing it.
Amen.
Failure is not acting on your dream.
Yes.
That's a failure.
No money, no problem.
Yeah. And sometimes what you were going after may not work out, but there's something else that you're supposed to be doing that you may get out of that, going down that road, taking that time to do it. Right. You just never know. But a lot of people are just fearful of the unknown and what they view as failure. What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean? Failure is not doing it. That's what failure is.
And fear is definitely a major obstacle. But now in your career, guiding people, mentoring people, taking them through this, very long and expensive process of creating a brand, how did you yourself learn about manufacturing? You had no fear. How did you figure it out?
Figuring it out. Just talk. And one of the things with me, I'm not afraid to let you know I don't know.
Yes.
And I am very quick to say, help guide me through this. Now, I have a lot of common sense and intuition. Mm-hmm. And some things are instinctive and some things may not make sense. Some things make sense. And I'll say in a minute, that doesn't make sense to me. Please explain that a little bit further.
Right.
So I'm not and I've been blessed so far to be able to get people that have really helped me out and for me to understand the process a little clearer. And so it hasn't been very difficult. I mean, the only thing that's been difficult has been the fact because of COVID, supplies are limited. But sometimes I think people now are using COVID as an excuse for them to be incompetent and not to live up to expectations and commitments. And so we got to get over this because that weakens our society when we're making up excuses for not doing what we're supposed to do. So I'll be glad when we get beyond that. But that's the biggest challenge. We won't have that done because COVID. Okay, I understand COVID is real. Yes. But let's get back to normalcy. Let's get back to living up to our commitments. So that's been the most challenging piece. Yeah, but I found an amazing manufacturer that my partner and I develop our ingredients, our formula, and a lot of brands, they have to learn to own your formulas from the beginning. Make sure that you understand what the MOQs so that you can get the best price, being able to negotiate that up front. and not being afraid to ask for what it is that you need and want.
Absolutely. Don't be intimidated by the process, because after all, you're defining the process.
Absolutely. And I have been really blessed with being able to get people to cooperate. Willingly.
That sounds very convincing.
Yes. So it's been good. It's been really good. Just so blessed, So far, so good.
Wonderful. Well, this has been beyond good. This has been great. And you've been listening to part 1 of the Forever F.A.B podcast interview with Germaine Bolds-Leftridge.
You've just listened to part 1 of Forever F.A.B podcast. Please stay tuned for part 2, coming up next.